Well, I think I have somewhat of a decent pedigree to talk about this because I used to deal with billionaires managing their money, and some of them had $100 million, and all they wanted to do is get to 200 million and then quit. And then they got to 200 million, and then they got to 500 million, et cetera. And I noticed at the same time that the clerks that were making 25 grand a year were just as happy as these billionaires. And then I started reading about evolutionary psychology, and we pursue dopamine and different neurotransmitters because they feel good. And it took me a very long time to understand that it's the pursuit of resources and status that gives us the feelings of success rather than the actual use and acquisition of the resources. Warren Buffett, a good man, but he treats all this as a game. So I think if people recognize that financial wealth is just a marker for real wealth, real wealth being defined as the four ecological capitals: social capital, which is our friends and our network; human capital, which is our health, our knowledge, our skills; natural capital, which is our ecosystems, our fresh water, our trees; and built capital, which is our stuff, our wind turbines, our electric cars, our pavement. If people can accept that finance is just a marker, and if we can compete as an evolved species, we're not going to allow everyone on the planet to be equal. As noble of a concept as that is, it will never happen. We are a competitive / cooperative species. But if we compete for things that are more benign in their throughput, for example, art or information or gardening, I think that would be a huge potential leverage point. And I've been walking that own path myself because I used to be an incredibly large consumer, and I've struggled with reducing that. And now I make 20 grand a year as a graduate assistant, and I spend just a little bit more than that, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. So I know that it can happen, even though I still talk to my hedge fund buddies and everything, and they make a lot of money, and they're worried about how to protect it and what's coming. And they're missing the message. They're good people, most of them. But we need to create examples where, wow, look at these people. They're using less resources, and they used to use so many more, and they're happy. Is a lot different message than we have climate change, we have peak oil coming, you need to use less resources. So it's a subtle shift of perspective, but I think that's important. It's going to ultimately get down to human behavior, absolutely. Without behavioral change, without changing the carrot that both the United States and the countries that follow us compete for, away from conspicuous consumption, none of this other stuff is going to matter. It's only going to be fingers in the dike, temporary fixes.